A full driving review of the new Porsche Cayenne. Is it all new, an all-new generation? Is it an extended facelift, something in between? We'll find out with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go here with the new front design. And indeed, they changed the whole front hood. These parts here, more horizontal stress in the design, and new HD matrix headlamps. They're also mounted here, of course, an option. And you have these daytime running light design in the top part, but another one here in the lower part. But here, you can see this is not just the upper one. The lower one is fixed. And this new blue color, also new now, called Montego blue. It's pretty fancy and has this kind of this greenish nuance. Turning indicators in the front, pretty cool here in the lower part where it replaces the daytime running light. The length 4 meters 92 or 194 inches. This has remained the same. However, wheels now start at 20 inch and up to 22 inch wheels. Here, the biggest ones available. We see it here on display. Then here, vehicle color also at the wheel arch, and this lower part you can either get in the black contrast but also in vehicle color if you prefer that. Rear axle steering is optionally available. Then the rear wheels turn in the opposite direction than the front wheels. And suspension wise, they have reworked both suspensions, the base suspension and also the optional air suspension, giving you more comfort and sportiness at the same time. Is that true? We'll find out soon in driving. In the rear, new styling element that the light strip goes all the way across. That's beautiful. And also the three-dimensional Porsche lettering. That's pretty cool. And you might have seen that here, the lower area, the number plate is now here in the lower part, also in the SUV. So this is now very similar to the coupe version of the Cayenne. Both are, of course, still available. And now the rear looks, more or less alike. Here you can see with these black tips, these are the optional sports exhaust for that 6-cylinder. Turning indicators in the rear around the three-dimensional light strip. Let's now compare the Cayenne S and the Cayenne Coupe. We can see here this second horizontal element is missing at this vehicle. That's why it has the sport design package. Then you have this wider hole here. And indeed, it looks like something would be missing here. So I prefer the base version look there. This unique color here, by the way, is called Geyser Gray. But I think it neither has to do something with Geyser nor with gray. What's your take on that? This very vehicle is also equipped with the optional lightweight sports package. And that means you have these special 22-inch wheels, and even optional on top, the PCCB, the Porsche ceramic composite brake. And you can now also get them, for example, with black brake calipers. Before it was only the yellow ones, but that way it also works. Looks pretty fancy indeed. Here, by the way, you can see these are the wheel arches that are not in vehicle color. So you can then pick the styling you want. This is an optional sticker you get here with some kind of retro look. And said we have the coupe here, and that has this falling roof line right here, stronger shoulder formation. And when you look above, another part of this lightweight sports package is the carbon fiber roof. Yeah, that brings the center of gravity a little bit lower, but does that really matter in driving? Not really. And in the rear, you can see that lower graphic, SUV and coupe are kind of similar now. Just this upper part there, you can see, of course, this flatter window right here. And the Cayenne S is now once again a V8. You can see it also here in the different exhaust pipes. I would say, let's do a sound comparison, V6 versus V8. So which one did you like better, the 3-liter V6 or here the 4-liter V8? Tell me in the comments. If you wonder, by the way, hey, wait a minute, the 6-cylinder sounded better. Might be a reason because the 6-cylinder has the sport exhaust and this one here is the base exhaust for the V8. Engine lineup, all have received more power. The main engine, the 3-liter V6 for the base Cayenne, now with around 350 horsepower, 6 or 5.7 seconds. Then with the sports chrono package is the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour. A second quicker is the Cayenne S, which now again receives the V8 with around 470 horsepower. And based on that, even more 660 horsepower for the Cayenne Turbo GT, the strongest pure combustion engine model. Hybrids, either based on this one, the normal Cayenne hybrid, or then also future, even stronger hybrids. They are coming up very soon. We'll keep you updated. And should you wonder, what about the GTS? Yes, also coming up again. You'll see a review on Autogefühl in 2024. This is the key fob, yeah, always with this 911 silhouette, really beautiful. This is here for the independent heating, if you have that option. Then door closing sound, really solid, I love that. And of course you can also get a soft close when you want to go for that option. Then inside of the doors, also once again with the horizontal stress, really good build quality indeed. Then for the interior you can get different stylings. Here for example we have a bright styling. This all animal skin. Alternatives would be Racetex microfiber on the inside or a Sportex in the special sports lightweight package, a fabric then with this retro look. So you have some possibilities, but not too much. So they didn't change anything there with the facelift. That is to me one of two disappointing things. The second disappointing thing will come very soon. Headroom here, no problem at all, although this is the one with the panoramic roof, so with 189 and 602, no problem. It's a very good and upright seating position. Ergonomics also nice. GT steering wheel here, and soon I'm going to show you the all-new cockpit. Here you can adjust it electronically. New interior layout, straight focus still, that's what I like, really clean. And then Taycan instruments, and here the 911 steering wheel, in this case the GT steering wheel. You can see it here with the screws. So a mix of Taycan and 911 now in the interior, and you have the central screen updated and optional also a passenger screen. In front of these two dachshunds, which is German Dackel by the way, listen and repeat, Dackel, we show you the head-up display, which you can also adjust from this view to a more racy look or then the simplistic view. Digital instruments are adjustable. Here, for example, the middle part, assistance systems view, very impressive GPS view, wow, Austrian mountains, or also full screen. And then this is the night vision, and you can also switch to the right side what you want to have there and click through further to the left side. But sometimes you are not quite sure where you are at the moment in adjustment, so it's not that intuitive. However, I really love that we have real buttons at the steering wheel here, at the volume jog, or also here for the voice input, so something to press. And the physical drive mode selector at the steering wheel. The shifting lever is now here, like in the Taycan, drive or reverse. Has this metal knurling brown shaver atmosphere. Yeah, it is somewhat practical, but of course not really that sporty, you know what I mean? And of course, how can we miss that? The stopwatch. Middle console, slide this one open, charging via cable, USB-C or inductive charging. And then I really appreciate to still have a manual climate unit and with nice clicking sounds as well. Then we have here cup holders, you can also slide it forward or open it for more space. And if you wonder about fingerprints and scratches here, middle console, yes, definitely a problem. New infotainment system, you have either this home screen or this one. This has this app view, I would say, and everything has been reworked. This is the car internal GPS, which is well usable indeed. And of course you have the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto. Integration looks like this, and the Burmester sound system, €6,000 extra, is actually pretty cool. Has like a true sound, so not too bass intensive indeed, and not too much surroundish. And here you can see when I switch the driving modes at the steering wheel, they also appear here, and then you can also set everything in the screen. The passenger screen cannot be seen from the left, only when you are at the passenger seat. Then you can actually see it. And for example, for doing GPS, but also the instruments of the drivers, G-force, yeah, very important in the Cayenne. And also video streaming is possible depending on the installed apps. They will offer more and more there. The panoramic roof, you can open this slider here, and this is also still one you can really open completely. Here, double action slider plus, and well, it goes really wide like this, and then you can also move the slider totally to the rear. The slider here now via touch, and the middle part for the glass roof is still with physical feedback. Rear seating area in the Cayenne SUV. Really upright, these rear seats, you can see that already, and that also delivers you a good seating comfort. You have enough legroom here also for tall persons when other tall persons are driving, And rear headroom here to the side is kind of shallow. In the coupe, they lower the bench a little bit, that the headroom is still guaranteed. And here you can adjust the back part of the seat. That is, of course, a cool feature. And also, when you want to have more trunk, you slide forward here in a 2/3, 1/3 split. The middle seat, let's check it out. You can sit here. It's actually quite good for a 3-seater in the rear. This massive middle tunnel here, but you can actually easily get along with 5 tall adults. And in the middle part, you have a nice console, and I really appreciate that it's not all just touch, but you also have here these nice knurled clicking buttons for the temperature control. Big microphone for you today, by the way, so you don't hear background noise. Then here, let's check out the trunk or the boot area. And the width is about 1 meter or 40 inches, a little bit longer, and also the standard length is 1 meter or 40 inches. And you can see you can fold the seats, but you have to go around and then 2/3, 1/3 split. And the maximum height, 78 centimeters, which is around 30 centimeters. Actually very well usable here for a sports SUV. The coupe version, of course, is always a little bit limited here in this back area, but it's not a large compromise. Second interior, first of all, accentuations in neodyme. So this, I would say, slightly golden look. Looks pretty fancy, doesn't it? And this is also the Cayenne S with a lightweight sports package. That means we have the sport seats with the retro fabric on the inside. I think it looks pretty special, definitely reminding us of a retro 911. And also because the fabric surface is just softer, you have more comfort in these seats actually. And also the side support helps while driving, especially like slalom and so on. So this whole interior then feels a little bit more racy. This is, by the way, also a manual adjustment of the steering wheel. However, make no mistake, this vehicle here has even more coast-intensive options than the other interior. But overall pretty cool. And here we also feature an Alcantara steering wheel for even more grip. So this setup here overall is pretty cool. I would go for this one here. Special thing about the armrest, look at that. It so easily goes forward and backward in the European versions and also some other markets. The US version, by law, requires a special safety mechanism that it gets stuck and then you have to release it to press it forward. And that's also better for the US version, definitely, because we had situations where we were approaching a traffic light. And then imagine there's like a hot coffee paper cup here in the cup holders. And then you just have your arm here, have a little bit of G-force forward, and then this happens easily. So the Porsche guys told me that this has not changed for the facelift here, but I felt that it has never been that loose, so to speak. So yeah, either get the US version, then it's no problem at all. And other than that, I told the Porsche guys that I think that it needs to be, a little bit heavier in the movement. Rear seats of the Cayenne Coupe. Well, we also have the lightweight sports package seats here with a nice fabric. And this is then the setup with the single seats. So in the middle part, we have no seating possibility, but you can also get a through bench for the Coupe. And well, we have no panoramic roof in this case. And the roof is a little bit falling backwards. So yeah, it is a little bit limited in the headroom as for the coupe, but not too much because at the same time, they put the seat bench in the back part a little bit lower. So the seating angle is a little bit different. To me, you sit more comfortable, more upright in the normal SUV version. But still, it's totally fine here. So this trade-off for the coupe look is to me totally okay. And now we have to talk about floor mats. Look at that here. The front floor mats, they have this knob, and that way they are secured, the floor mats here. But the rear floor mats now, see that? They don't have that. So the previous version had these clips in the rear floor mats, and I was wondering now, is this just cost savings? And I asked the Porsche managers about that, and they actually said no, the reason behind it is that customers actually went to the Porsche dealer, and then the Porsche dealers actually filed a report that a couple of times it happened that people tried to take out the floor mats and they were secured by the knob, and then they were ripping the floor mat apart together with the floor underneath it. Really? And that is the reason why they changed it, took out this secure mechanism here, and now it's just loose in there, but there's also like a slidable background of this one. So sometimes we ended up going out of the vehicle and the floor mat was like this all over the place basically. So I don't know. I mean, first of all, who would rip the whole floor apart with the floor mat? I mean, can't you take out the floor mat properly? And secondly, if you change to this solution, then maybe at least make the background of the floor mat sticky or something, right? All right, Sport Plus. Let's accelerate it out. Let's see. Plop, that is already around 80 kilometers an hour. Wow, pretty impressive. And I was starting basically in the corner. That's also what the Cayenne is standing for. It is an SUV, but it feels like a sports car. At the same time, it is very well controllable. All-wheel drive has a rear-wheel bias, and all the engines have been upgraded. As for the power, here around 350 horsepower for the base Cayenne 6-cylinder, 3-liter 6-cylinder. Around 6 seconds is the acceleration figure, the official one, to 1 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour, and yeah, kinda also reached that indeed. They have also worked on the suspension, both the base suspension and also the optional air suspension, which we have here, and they promise actually that it's sportier and more comfortable at the same time. And it also switches then according to the driving mode. Here, for example, Sport or Sport Plus, it's a little bit stiffer. Also, it goes lower at higher speeds, and I can also switch then back again to the normal mode. And then we have a little bit more comfort, but actually all the different modes are really fine. And indeed, I have to say, we also have big wheels mounted here today, but even if you run over some potholes and so on, it's not uncomfortable at all. You have this upright command driving position, and the suspension is really doing a good job. If you ask yourself, base suspension or air suspension, of course the air suspension offers you more flexibility and variety from comfort to sportiness, but the base suspension will also do fine. So the problem with the Cayenne is that it easily gets too expensive with all the different options. At the end of this review, we'll also talk about the very concise price of this very vehicle. But indeed, I mean, the ride before, in the pre-facelift, was already superb. But here, even a notch more comfort and a notch more sportiness, yes, they have achieved that indeed. And also noise insulation-wise, so silent in here. At the moment, around 70 kilometers an hour, now going like 80 kilometers an hour. It's like 50 miles an hour. And it's super silent. You don't hear any rolling noise, no wind noise, nothing at all. So I really fine-tuned this vehicle. And sometimes it is good when they don't do like an all-new generation, but really fine-tune an existing one. However, this extensive facelift here, what feeling do you get? Yes, it doesn't feel like a completely new vehicle, but it really feels even more refined. So if you have an existing Porsche Cayenne, I wouldn't necessarily say that it feels so different that you definitely need the newest one, because the existing one is already fine. But when you step into the Cayenne world now, even a notch more, smoothness, sportiness and comfort at the same time. If you like these digital instruments, like this full digitalization of the cockpit now, that is of course a matter of preference. Everything is more digitalized now, but I'm happy that we still, for example, have the manual climate controls here in the center knob, central control console. So while driving, I can still control that. And also while driving, to me, it's really important that I can change the driving modes directly at the steering wheel. With so many new modern vehicles, we are distracted picking something in the infotainment system while driving. At least for the driving mode, this remains really, really straightforward and simple. And what I also want to show you here, the rear axle steering, turning all the way in, and for such a large SUV, it really handles very well because the rear wheels go in the opposite direction than the front wheels, and to get to speed again, also so effortless indeed. So I feel that this new Cayenne, and we can say new Cayenne indeed, is just smoother. And one more time, 50 to 100. That's it already. Here you feel the good handling. Yes, of course, you sit higher, but you hardly feel it's an SUV. Also good side support from the seat. And I really like the precise steering input. So hardly any other SUV gives you such a good handling balance feeling, and there's no dead zone area from the steering, and you exactly know what you're doing. You have a great feedback from the tires, from the road. That's also what you expect when you get a Porsche. Well, for me, it would actually be the main reason. And the cool thing that you still have it in their big SUV. At the same time, when it's city time here, you go back to the normal driving mode, suspension goes softer again, and you just relax and enjoy the comfort. The seats, by the way, from the material also, and the skin pretty stiff, so the seat ergonomics, what's underneath the seat is good. Top part, you have always more comfort when you go for the race tex, the microfiber, or for the sport tex, the fabric seats. So by that, you can not only do something for the animals, but also increase your seating comfort. And here, once again, also when you're in a normal driving mode and accelerate it out, when you pin it down, you also get the full power. And you can always watch your passengers going like, oh, whoa. Yeah. You always have to watch out. Stuff happens like that. And now, guys, the V8 in the Cayenne S. Wow. Der hat aber ordentlich Druck, Alter. Would we say in German. As in, that one has, a lot of pressure, yo. Der hat aber ordentlich Druck, Alter. Listen and repeat. Yeah, and this is like a second quicker in the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour than the V6, the upgraded one. And of course, sound-wise, yeah, we had the sport exhaust in the V6, which sounded nice indeed, but here you have a little bit more, I would say, raw sound, can you call it that way? And also some really nice winding corners here. Wow, although it's a heavy SUV, it gets out of the corner really quickly and super precise. Here, once again, the handling, the Alcantara steering is also helping me with that. And then the sport seat with the fabric, I don't slide on that so much. So this is an overall sportier setup we have here. Wow, so much fun. That is really the thing about this Cayenne. You can have so much driving, sporty driving fun, although it is the large and heavy SUV, and it can also be comfortable at any time. That's the real cool thing. Some other, we're also giving in the colleagues a nice shot here, passing by. Beautiful roads here also. This is so much fun. Also is not leaning into the corner at all. If you ask me, V6 versus V8, yes, of course, sticking with the opinion that the V6 is enough. The V8 just delivers a little bit more raw sound experience. Yes, even a little bit quicker. Yeah, then the weight, I wouldn't say that you really feel the big weight difference or so, that's not the thing. Of course, also price-wise, it goes higher, but you will also see at our final pricing result, the price of the Cayenne is really varying so much depending on the picked options. So which engine you go for is not the main thing. It's really about the individual options you pick. And here you have to say, when you go for the sportier seats and the sportier steering wheel, for example, that already makes a massive difference in driving. Driving modes here, same, I can also go to the normal mode. And we have a little bit softer feedback, also once again here from the air suspension. Yeah, just the Alcantara steering wheel is so great. All the steering wheels are, by the way, pretty thin. I like that. Thomas B, cameraman, he more prefers a little bit thicker steering wheels. Talked about that earlier, but I think it really helps you here in very precise driving. And when you're passing some houses and so on, normal driving mode, keeping it also a little bit more silent. When you're more than again on the open road, you can go to a sportier mode and then accelerate it out. Wow, so flawless overall. And the S driving feeling is of course different here now with this V8 once again. So goodbye for the 2.9 liter 6-cylinder bi-turbo. That will not be here anymore. It won't come back. It is a combination, like emission things and also the power you can get out of this one. So they decided to now once again go upsizing here with the V8 and fun-wise, definitely nice. So one more good shots here for the other camera team. Consumption-wise, of course, the thing is that the 8-cylinder will consume more fuel, so definitely have to calculate with that. The 6-cylinder is overall the more logical, more economic choice, without compromising on fun. But of course, you've experienced it here. The V8 does deliver something special, no doubt. Pricing this very vehicle around 90,000 euros base price, but then 50,000 euros of extra, so 140k in total. And the price here for our Bentley Cayenne S, 67,000 euros of extra equipment, making a total price of 180,000 euros. So is it now all new or is it a facelift? It's a very extensive facelift indeed, and just the side doors, they have remained the same. Most of the other things have been replaced indeed, and they want to make it fit for the next years actually. In 2025 we will present to you the all-new electric Cayenne, and then these two, the combustion and the electric Cayenne, will run parallel for a couple of years. That's why they reworked it now so intensively. You can also compare more trims in our studio episode, or see AJ and me jumping out the Cayenne Turbo GT.